DNVR Broncos live coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR Bar, where the A stands for...
I don't think it stands for that.
Wow.
I don't think it stands for that.
You can't think of a word
It stands for Monday. It stands for
Monday.
birthday.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
It stands
There
for
we
A.
go.
It's your birthday.
Thank you.
Yep. Happy birthday, Zach.
Thank you.
I wished you a happy birthday late last night on purpose because Sunday, not a great social day. So I knew I could legally wish you a happy birthday and then carry it over into Monday. Now everyone thinks today's your birthday.
Everyone does.
Which is better for you, honestly, because you get more action.
A 2-day birthday.
Ooh, more
yeah,
action.
I mean that was more action. That was smart, Ryan, and it definitely worked like you thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
So
worked
more
perfectly.
action.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot more numbies on Twitter.
You can't have a Sunday birthday. It just doesn't slap.
I know it.
Wow.
Monday birthdays don't slap either.
That's true,
So
but
maybe like 2.
combined-
Yeah, exactly. There we go. We got a full one now.
If your birthday's Sunday this year, you don't have a microphone. You're not even wearing one. Okay. If your birthday's Sunday this year, no. Then what day is it next year? Because it's like a weird
Does
rotation.
it go
Well,
forward or backward?
Is there a leap? It always
I don't
goes
know.
forward.
But then
and
there's-
if there's a leap year, then it skips a day.
Oh,
But if
okay.
it's not, then it's just the next day.
When's the
I
next
love
leap
that you
year?
knew that.
It's a great question. Next year?
Feels like it's coming up.
My
favorite part-
Coming up.
The leap years is that, like-
next year, just so you know, Hank.
He's got his mic on, so he can talk.
Yeah.
Is it turned on? Doubt it. But
It's
then it's like
turned
once
on.
every 50 years, there's like a bonus leap year.
Double leap?
Really?
'cause
In
it's
the
like-
same year?
Yeah, it's like 365.27, not 0.25 days in a year. So that's kind of sick.
Could you imagine
That
if
is
there
sick.
weren't leap years?
So you're going to skip Monday birthday next year.
Thank goodness.
Straight to
There we
Tuesday.
go. There we go.
Wow.
That's perfect.
Yeah. I forget what day my birthday
You had
is on
Thursday.
already.
You had a Thursday birthday, so you're going to
Oh.
skip Friday and go straight to Saturday.
That sucks.
It does. It's okay for this year, but then the
But
following year.
Eventually, yeah, exactly. I lost a good day.
Yeah, you did. Friday, second best?
I would say Friday's the best. I'm a big Friday partier.
So my birthday
Give
was
yourself the whole weekend to
Yep.
bounce back.
Yep.
my birthday was a Tuesday this year, which is a little confusing because I still have my calendar set to Wednesday as the start of the week. So I had so Tuesday, technically the weekend in my world, but it's also before leap year day, which is the end of February.
I
So
can
that means
tell
it's
you-
one day in the future.
Yeah.
I can tell you your birthday for next year, what day it's going to land on. It's a Tuesday for next year.
What?
I'm gonna check.
No,
I really
no,
hope he's wrong.
Birthdays
I
never
really
go
hope he's
backwards.
wrong.
They go forward.
It's April 2nd, right?
Oh, for me. Yeah,
For
yeah.
you.
Sorry, I thought you were
Oh.
talking about
Oh,
Hank.
yeah,
Yep,
we
yep,
already
yep.
knew
It's going to
that.
be a
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We already
Yep.
uncovered that.
Mine's a Wednesday.
Do you feel older? Did you enjoy? Let me ask you this: did you enjoy the 1 month you had almost where you weren't as old as me?
I did. Yeah, I really
Wow.
enjoyed it. And now I'm caught up.
Now you're
we're
back.
Now we're both on our Justin Simmons year.
Yeah.
Which when I say Justin Simmons, it makes it feel good. But the number 31, if it's not for Justin, it's pretty lame.
I really hate
kinda
it
sick.
like attached to me. Like when I say I'm 31, I don't like it.
No,
and
no.
it doesn't even have to do with the fact that it's like I feel older. It's just like that's such a lame age.
It's very irrelevant now.
Yeah.
At least at
Yeah.
30, you were 30.
Yeah.
It was a new decade.
Right.
Now there's
31,
nothing.
there's nothing going. Even 32 feels like, oh, like you're a grown ass adult.
Yeah.
Right.
37. It's like, oh wow, you're half dead.
Wow.
I mean, right?
Life expectancy is dropping dramatically
It's
right now.
crazy. It's crazy.
Wouldn't you like to know when you're dying so you know halfway,
Yes.
through life and everything like that?
Absolutely.
Your body tells you that very clearly.
Why would you want to know when you're dying? That takes all the fun away from it.
I wanna spend all my money. Like,
That's
what if there's
also true.
what if I die at like 50 and I'm like, oh, I've saved up all this money for retirement? That'd be a waste.
Yeah,
And 'cause
it certainly would
you
be.
don't want to have kids.
They can make money. They'll be fine. My money is my
that-
money.
Wow. Wow, that's tough.
Henry has all these takes that I just know will never last.
And
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We know it's changing in
Yeah.
a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
like, I'm
old
gonna let
men.
you have this for now because you're young and
just remember
Naive.
that all these takes are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, King of all Sportsbooks.
true.
does DraftKings want these takes?
Wow.
But they get them.
These losing takes.
What if we could bet on when we die?
How would you collect
So,
your
like-
winnings?
Wow.
That's
Well,
tough.
you would pass it on to someone, but Henry doesn't want to pass anything on. So
So
You
like,
also-
what if instead of like a retirement account, you said like, I bet like 50 grand that
That
I'll be
I make
alive
it to
at
70?
78, and then you get
Ooh.
whatever.
Damn, that would be sick. It would increase life expectancy for sure.
because people just want to win.
People would be trying harder to stay alive.
Or more stress on yourself to try to stay alive to get there. That may kill you.
Have you been following the TikTok trend of dumb ways to die?
No, that's a TV show. That's not a TikTok trend.
There was a TV show, 1,000 Ways to Die.
That's different than dumb ways to die.
No, they were all really
They
dumb.
were all stupid.
One lady got breast implants,
Oh god.
but they were somehow poorly done. Got up on a plane, was flying, something about the altitude, bang,
That's
blew
scary.
up.
That's
She
sad.
blew up.
Gosh, that's terrible.
Yep.
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Dumb ways to die is just videos of people doing really dumb shit. They don't actually die though.
Oh, where's the payoff?
So that's even better then.
But it's just
Dumb
like,
ways to get
if
hurt?
they had a
Ugh.
bet on over 78, they wouldn't be doing like wrestling an alligator.
Right. That is very stupid.
Yeah. it
Also,
is.
real quick, what does the insurance company get if you do die? You're dead. What are you going to give them?
Well, no, you have,
They
it's
get
like
the
a bet.
money that you invested.
Yeah, it's like I'm putting
Yeah.
here's 50 grand. Give me 100 when I make it past the average life expectancy.
then they're gonna.
What
I mean,
about-
that's
they got to set odds. You have to like go in for a physical.
Ooh, or you get to choose to. It's like, do you take your chance? They'll probably like lower it because you're not willing to give them the information.
I mean, this is
Try to move the
life
line.
insurance.
It is essentially life insurance,
Because
but
life insurance is
life
gambling
insurance
on you too.
only pays off to
when you
the-
die.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, maybe
this
what,
you
So
could bet
you
like
can't
I'm
get
betting
your
I'm going to
money.
make it past 50. They're like, all right, we'll give you minus 3,000 on that, and you're like, all right, cool. I'll bet 50,000
maybe life
to make a few extra bucks when I turn 50.
maybe life insurance just needs a rebrand. Call it like a bet.
DraftKings.
Maybe
life
all insurance does.
Check them out.
Yes, yes.
All right. So topic of the day, which I thought that was a great topic.
Yeah,
It was.
I'd love to
But-
circle back.
We have literal people in the studio complaining about us not
I know
talking about
nobody in the comments though. Kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Thank you to our live audience.
Live audience is getting really testy over there.
Wow.
We are talking Broncos. And the question today is, what is the biggest need? So I think the way we should do this is first identify the biggest need on offense, then identify the biggest need on defense, then just like the championship game tonight, put them head to head for a champion, which is actually the worst thing you want to be. Like, you don't want to be the biggest need on
No.
the team.
This is the biggest loser.
It is. It is. That's a TV
Speaking
show.
of like TV shows, yeah, exactly.
I never got the appeal of that one. Did you see like the new version of The
we
Amazing
go.
Race, which
No,
is
I've never
it's
seen
like,
the old version of The Amazing Race.
You were missing out. You were really missing out. It kind of starts sucking once people like I don't know. It's not
Google
hard to
things?
figure out
He
where to
brings
go.
up
Exactly.
The Amazing Race like once a week.
He does.
Well,
Dude
there's a
loves
new.
The Amazing
He
Race.
does.
I'm hyped about the new version, which is like
It's
you got to
pretty
go
amazing.
like 500 miles through the Alaskan wilderness,
Okay.
but it's like Amazing Race. So it's like okay, you got to get from here to
But we
there.
don't know what that means.
But no, I mean, so Amazing Race, it's like, okay, here we are in Berlin. And now it's like, okay, you guys need to find your way to somewhere in France. And again, it was better back in the day before you could just like find somebody on the street and say like, Google how to get there. Like they used to use maps or like they'd have a certain amount of money. They could go to an airport and like
All right, we
buy
get it
plane
now.
tickets.
This sounds like Bear Grylls style Amazing Race.
Yeah, but he was a liar. He didn't actually do any of that shit. Like he was like staying in hotels and that sort of stuff.
love
plus
that.
this turns it into a competition, which I guess not dying could also kind of be. But when it's like 6 groups of people trying to get across Alaska first,
How close are we to just airing the Hunger Games on TV?
I'd watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone would.
Yeah, you know it's going to be on HBO or something.
Wait, biggest needs though?
Okay. So, biggest need.
Wow, he just derailed us, and then he
Well-
thinks he has the audacity to come in and try to get us back on
I,
track.
I felt bad. I was like, I can't do this
Wow.
anymore.
The biggest need on offense is very obvious to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that obvious. I don't think it's as
Oh,
obvious as you're
okay.
saying. I know where you're going,
I know where you're going.
and you don't think it's even close.
I don't
No,
think
I think
anyone
you're
knows
right.
where I'm going.
You're not going center.
No.
You're going
Whoa.
quarterback.
The biggest need on the offense is
Quarterback.
the quarterback.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's one of the weirdest conversations to have because the Broncos don't have any options right now at the position. They're stuck with who they have. But the truth is, they'll never be good until they get better play out of that position. So that's the biggest need. The biggest need is not necessarily a hole on the team. It's a plug on the team that just happens to be leaking. And so the plug needs to be fixed. And that's the number one thing between the Broncos offense being good and the Broncos offense being bad is what Russell Wilson are they going to get?
So we know that Russell Wilson can be good enough where there's no hole. Obviously, last year we saw that he can be bad enough where there certainly is a need there. And if there's a need there, it doesn't matter how big the hole at center is, how big the hole at running back is, the lack of depth on defensive line. That one is always going to be the most important one. And Ryan, you bring up the good point. Right now, it is a need. At what point does Russell Wilson or any quarterback play good enough where it goes from a need to not a need? Like, what does a team need from the quarterback, ranked-wise in the NFL, for it to not be a need anymore? Is it a top 16 quarterback? Is it a top 10? Is it just not bottom 10?
13.
So kind of the Derek Carr,
Yep.
where he typically has been. I think I agree with you there. I think that's where it is, because when you look at the Raiders when they had Derek Carr, you never really said that they need someone there. But when you look at other teams around the league, worse.
This goes against my point. So you probably have to be top 12 because number 13 in QBR last year was Marcus Mariota.
Wow. How many games
And he was one
play?
spot ahead of Derek Carr. He played a lot of games. It doesn't say on here how many games he played, but he played a lot.
Who's 10? Who's 10 there?
Number 10 is Joe Burrow. So that is clearly good enough. Now, there are some people in here who just worked their way in that just probably don't help this case at all. Actually, it turns out QBR just not a good measure of this because you have Jared Goff in there. And he did have a really good season, but he's not taking the Lions to the Super Bowl anytime soon.
No, but you can make the playoffs.
He has taken a team to the Super Bowl, but it was very different. Geno Smith was in here. Obviously, what I would guess is an outlier year.
Last year, though, they didn't have a need at quarterback.
Jacoby Brissett is in here.
How many games did he play? Oh, he played
Like
until
at least
Deshaun
10?
got back. Yeah.
And then someone like Trevor Lawrence is all the way down at 15. Like, you feel like you're probably getting enough from him. So I would say there's about 10 to 13 players in here that I would say are good enough to get their team where they're trying to go.
So yeah, that's the tough part, though. It's like if it's win a Super Bowl, it's probably like top 5 or 6.
Jalen Hurts, good enough to win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
He is good enough. So
Okay.
maybe that is top 10.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say some. Lamar Jackson, good enough to win a Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it is the top third, and I think you can,
Yeah.
make the top third more of the top 13. You can bring it down to top 10 if you want, but I think it's right around there. And because Derek Carr's been in the division, we've kind of used his name a lot when talking about this, but he's kind of that line for me where some years he's clearly not good enough. Last year, he was not good enough. Other years, I mean, he was an MVP level player. And so he's kind of that borderline. Can you get better than him? And going into last year, Russell Wilson, there was no debate. There was maybe some debate between people saying, do you want Justin Herbert or Russell Wilson more? Who's the second best quarterback in the division? We thought there was
Crazy.
no debate that Russell Wilson was at least the third best quarterback in the division. So we thought he was above that Derek Carr line, and then there wouldn't be a need. Last year at this time, we were not saying that there was a need for the Broncos at the quarterback position.
Russell
Obviously,
Wilson, 27th on this list.
oh, so
Yeah.
bottom 6. Yikes.
which
That
is weird.
bad.
One spot behind Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
One spot in front of Mac Jones.
Wow. I do think to be capable of winning a Super Bowl, you need to be in the top third. To be capable of making the playoffs, you got to be top 2/3. And beyond that, there's really just no escaping that your quarterback isn't good enough. Again, like if you're a 20th best quarterback, he's not carrying you to the playoffs, but you do see Geno Smith and Daniel Jones get in there. Tua is in that middle third somewhere. He's probably top half. Jared Goff was just outside. So I do think Jimmy Garoppolo
you're
got
doing
in.
Tua dirty from what he did last year.
Am I?
Yeah.
The numbers were good. You can't.
Statistically,
The numbers were
absolutely.
good, but
Tua
in terms
came
of like,
in on this list, which we have determined doesn't really matter. Third.
Yeah, there we
by the
go.
numbers. But is he a top 10 quarterback? No. There's easily 10 guys who you look at and say are better. But I do think that's a cutoff. You need a top 20 quarterback to have a shot at the playoffs. Now they're going to be a passenger, but that's enough to get in.
It is wild that you're setting the bar that low,
Yeah.
and that Russ wasn't even close last
No,
year.
he needs to take a step in the right direction.
Who just in your mind, when I say 20th best quarterback in the NFL, what comes to your mind?
Jared Goff,
Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, he's such a Jimmy G's the most difficult one, maybe.
Yeah.
After this past year, maybe a Mac Jones.
Yep.
He'd
Although
be right
wasn't-
around there.
He wasn't last year, but was the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are the names that come to mind for me too.
Get Mac Jones
Then
last
there's
year,
like these
8 and 9.
weird like players that are probably capable, like Kyler Murray. You would say you feel like he's a top third quarterback. At least I would. But last year was so bad.
Yeah.
And then last year being so bad makes you recontextualize the years before, which were like, oh, this is like a rising star. Like, you have to give him a break for all that stuff. Then when you have a year that's that bad, you're like, oh, maybe all that stuff was just because he's not good.
Right.
So, like, quarterback is such an interesting position because you're just, like you said, you don't enter the conversation for winning a Super Bowl unless you have a top third. And even then, you're a big underdog if you were like the 13th best quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus anyone above that.
It's very true. And that's why when we joked about it 2 weeks ago on the pod, we said, how many first round picks would it take to trade for Patrick Mahomes? And, it's like, would 90 first round picks get it done? You acquire all the first round picks in the next 3 drafts. And because
The answer's still probably no.
four first round picks wouldn't do it. And that would be the biggest trade ever. And that just shows the importance of that position. And when we're talking about this, how many legitimate starting quarterbacks are there in the NFL?
20.
20,
It's probably those top 2/3.
So Jimmy G is kind of the borderline. He's like
all
the
those
last
guys.
one almost.
Yeah, and there's some like Justin Fields is another weird one.
Well, you
It's
hate
too hard.
him.
It's too hard
Yeah.
to know. It's too
Young
soon.
guys, yeah. But yeah,
But so
that's about the cutoff.
20. So that's about 12 teams in the NFL don't have a legitimate starting quarterback, which is the most important position in sports.
They might
why
as
you're
well not
doomed.
even play.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
you need top 2/3 to get into the playoffs, to have a chance at getting in.
And the Broncos are one of those teams we just don't know.
Yep.
They should have a top third quarterback. Like, that's what they traded for.
Yep.
And, we've talked about this a million times, but I just think anyone would have said, yeah, you're going to get top 13, 14 play out of Russell Wilson, just about a guarantee.
Yep. And I think when we broke it down, we were saying, yeah, he's probably right around 7, give or take, 3 spots. So he can jump up to kind of the 4th best quarterback in the NFL, jump down to the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. And what a position to be in where you're guaranteed that until you're not guaranteed it anymore.
No such thing as a guarantee, apparently.
No.
So yeah, it's the biggest need, but it's not a need that the Broncos can address in any way,
There's
really.
nothing they can do.
Other than drafting a talented quarterback late that has a ton of flaws and pray.
I was going to say, and is that someone that is going to fix that this year? No, it would be someone who would develop into someone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a quarterback who's going to get drafted later that has a rocket arm, but I don't think
Hendon
it exists.
Hooker.
He's first round
Rocket
pick.
arm.
I think he's going first round.
He's getting mocked there.
Is he jumping up now
yeah.
to the first?
Yep. To like teams with older quarterbacks.
The Jets should draft him
What are
after
they-
they trade
Wow.
for Aaron Rodgers.
What are they doing with Zach Wilson?
This is going to be a
Cutter trade.
development year for him.
They're willing to keep him. Like, you would think they'd want him out of the building. Like, everybody
maybe,
hates him.
Maybe they do. Just dump
Oh.
him.
Why wouldn't they? Maybe the Packers aren't interested either.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, but why not have 2 bullets in the chamber?
Because
if-
one of the bullets is probably just going to backfire anyway.
Both bullets are blanks, anyways.
It's just a toxic bullet.
What
Jordan
about
Love had some moments.
what
when
about
he played
the
last year?
He did. What about the Wilson squared backfield quarterback room? Russ and Zach,
I mean, for nothing, I would make that trade.
and then have him and Stidham kind of competing.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
The thing is, Zach Wilson to me is in that like Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz category where it's like, if you bring him in and he's on the bench, he's just going to cause trouble.
Wait, why? What has he done to make you think that?
The entire locker room hated him. Like, they were cheering when they benched him. Like,
Is that just because he was bad?
No, it was because they did not like him. Like, I can find the specific stories, but he, like, as a person, they did not like him.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have to hide their moms.
Is it because I was gonna say? Is it because he was hitting on their moms?
No, I don't think it was that.
Are you sure?
No.
Good. So yeah, Broncos can't really do anything about it. So I guess let's go to the second need in a more realistic fashion. Henry, what do you believe is the Broncos' biggest need on offense outside of quarterback?
Outside of quarterback,
I think when he tells you this, you're gonna need an avalanche amber
Wow.
ale in order to
Wow.
process, because Henry's probably going to send us on a roller coaster ride. And if you need to kind of calm yourself after a
There's
roller coaster,
nuance.
You need an Avalanche Ale. If you like amber beers, this is the best one in the state, arguably the best one in the country. Avalanche is just such a good beer, especially for tomorrow. I think the high's like 30 tomorrow after it being 70 today. You're going to want to grab yourself a cold Avalanche Amber Ale. And if you don't know where to find them, go to breckbeer.com, click on the Breck Beer locator, where you can find not just where Breckenridge beers are, but where the specific beers, specifically Avalanche Amber Ale, is. So check them out, breckbeer.com, the official beer of DNVR. Volo Sports
is awesome. We've got a bowling league that's
Yes.
kicking up, which is going to be a lot of fun.
So I have proposed that we have DNVR bowling tryouts because we have, I think, like 35 employees here, only 6 spots on the bowling league, and there's a shocking amount of interest. So I was saying, like, hey, we'll make sure, everyone who wants to bowl will bowl, but we should rank all players. Everyone bowls 3 games.
Yep.
There's no, like politics in this. It's all just about the numbers.
score, like it.
Rank everyone 1 to whatever. Let's say there's 20 people who are interested, and then every week we see who has time, who's going, and then the open spots just go to the rankings.
So this is effed up though. You want to know why?
Because you suck at bowling.
Yeah.
Don't be coming after me because the one proposing this has had his own bowling ball since he's been in 6th grade.
Same
Is
ball,
that right?
though. Same ball.
You haven't gotten stronger?
I have, but it's just like
Throw faster, right?
you just stick with what you're comfortable with.
Okay.
I do. But anyways, really quick. It's you're gonna be top 6. And so you just want to laugh at everyone else when they're not able to compete with you and be in that top 6.
No, what I want is the tiebreaker to be able to play whenever I want.
That's true. Yeah, because you'll be in that top 6.
Exactly.
Wow.
How heavy is that ball?
12 pounds.
I think I even like lighter.
Makes sense.
What do you roll?
So I don't really care, honestly. Like, I don't have like a specific.
He's clearly not, but he has no idea.
I bowl like every other year, probably. I
Oh.
go like,
So not a
I
top
grab a
6
ball,
kind of
but then
player.
I'll probably just use whatever balls like at the top of the rotation when it's my turn again. Like,
Wow, that is really bad. Like, I don't bowl ever either, but I at least stick with the same size of ball.
Yeah.
Patrick Lyons, who is in the room right now, also commenting, says he believes he's the unquestioned number 1 seed in this.
Really?
Wow. What are we? What numbers are we rolling out there, Patrick? In a 3-game set, what are we averaging?
Close to 600.
Wow.
He believes he's a 200 a game
Wow.
Dang.
185 average in high school as a freshman.
185 in high school is an average.
Yeah, I
you have
mean,
varsity bowling?
I was a 1 handicap
Wow.
in high school, but I'm not that anymore either
A 1 handicap?
Wow.
in golf.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, how does that work in bowling?
Just get one extra pin on every
Would your
roll.
handicap be like how many you are minus the 300?
So
So
the
what do
golf
you-
handicap is really dumb.
Can you keep up with 185, 200?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Mostly just because I can't remember the last time I went bowling.
Yeah.
Do you still have the ball?
Yeah. It's in my car at all times, just in case someone invites
Wow.
me to go bowling.
Wow. Is it in the trunk just rolling around every time you take a turn?
No, it's in the matching bag.
Ah, smart.
Again,
Wow.
Christmas present, 6th grade. Never bowled a game without it since.
Wow.
RK also
Okay.
What if you're not good with it? You wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, I'm better than the people I play with, so that's the best.
I guess that's all that matters. That is all that matters.
So that means you know you're better than at least one person in the company. Since I assume you bowled with Allie.
I mean, yeah, I'm obviously better than Allie.
I think I might win. I'm just kind of good at things sometimes. Actually, mini golfing is kind of sick.
Wow.
I think
that's a lot to back
Now
up
that I
there.
think about it, I'm ready. I'd put some money down.
You essentially just said you could beat anyone at anything because you're just good at everything.
I don't know. I was just thinking about it, and I'm kind of on a hot streak of just like trying things and it's going well.
Hot streak of life?
What's
Fuck yeah, dude.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just pulling the first thing out that I can think of. What's your record in Madden this year as we enter the playoffs?
Oh, I think I'm 4-12 now.
Ooh, that doesn't sound like he's
But no,
good
but
at
get-
everything.
How
does
many
it?
wins do you have?
I have 4 right now.
we got-
Yeah.
Did you guys play head to head?
Not this year. No.
What a shame.
Tiebreaker.
Wait, do I have more wins than all of the other DNVR employees in the league combined?
Oh my! This is
believe
just
it.
a
Almost
winning
double.
session for you guys right now. Wow.
What we're like?
I was 16-1.
You did have that loss.
Wow.
Yep.
How much does that still eat at you?
It honestly feels a little freeing.
Oh, yeah.
I was denying that before. Like, I played Levon the week before I lost, I think, and he was like, dude, you might as well just drop one so you don't have to think about it. And I was like, no, I don't care about that. And then now that I've dropped it, I'm like, huh, I actually do feel a little bit of a monkey off my back.
You don't want to pull a Patriots 17-0 in the I guess 16-0 in the regular season and then losing the Super Bowl.
It would have put a lot more pressure on me to finish the perfect season in the playoffs.
I'm happy that you're able to convince yourself of this.
Yep.
Yeah. So Volo.
So Volo, back to Volo.
Good read for Volo.
In case you don't know what Volo is, it is the largest social sports company in the United States. They also let kids play free. They have the Volo Kids Foundation. It's a separate 501c3. It provides free sports camps to kids in each Volo city. They provide leagues all over towns. Lodo, Rhino, Uptown, Aurora, Arvada, Inglewood, all over the place. They've got a bunch of different sports like kickball and soccer and volleyball and softball and cornhole and bocce and basketball, pickleball, bowling, mini golf, flag football, so many. We are
Wow,
playing.
I think I would win all of those.
Wow.
Henry thinks he'll win all of them too.
We are playing in the Monday Night Bowling League at Cherry Creek.
Such a great way to just like have like you end the weekend, but then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we got bowling league.
Also,
now.
there's bowling.
yeah.
Yeah. So
At least the top 6 of us do.
you do have to register by April 13th, but you can save $10 with the code DNVR10. That's Volo. And again, we're in the Monday Night Bowling League at Cherry Creek, so come play.
God, I'm fired up. Just the sentence, we're in the Monday Night Bowling League fires me up.
Wow. We got to get a softball team.
I
That's
know.
the one that we've been
I want
talking
that
about
too.
for like 5
I
years.
also want to join like a golf men's league.
Shocked you're not
Yeah.
in that.
I know.
Yeah.
Like now I'm 31. Like I need that on my resume.
Get Spencer to
yes,
make one.
you do. You have a resume?
Actually, no, I
Yeah,
don't.
no,
have a
I
resume.
didn't think you did.
But I just like 31-year-old man
Yep.
gotta be in a men's league.
Yeah.
It's true.
You do.
A basketball one would be very different.
I do
Be very
feel
aggressive.
like there
Who's
might be like
hooping?
diverging paths depending on which league you choose. Like there's bowling league guys, there's
Sure.
golf league guys, there's basketball league guys,
I think I'm an all 3 guy.
which I think also says something about you.
Yeah, probably.
Well, what's
Yeah.
it say, Henry?
Good.
Thanks.
Says good.
Yeah.
I just like competing, man.
Who doesn't?
Soccer league, that is guaranteed the worst sport for me.
Me too. I was actually on a champion co-ed soccer team in college, but I was invited because you needed a certain number of people who didn't know how to play soccer to fit into the B classification.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was just kind of there to be one of the anchors so that we were allowed to go play in the worst league. And then
Did
let
you
all
ever
the-
score?
No, did I score? I barely saw the field. There was one night,
Wow.
like, it was the draft. It was the Christian McCaffrey draft, where, like, they said, you have to show up. And I was like, okay, but I'm not putting cleats on because I'm not going to go play a game. I'm sitting on the sideline watching the draft. It's like, we need you to physically be there to be allowed to play. I was like, okay, cool.
I'll be there.
Wound up winning the championship.
Wow. All thanks
Did you get
to
a ring for that?
Got a t-shirt.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So Henry, let's see if you have a winning take on this. Tell us about the position of need.
It's center. I think I like where you're going to go. Assuming I know where you're going to go. The truth is Lloyd Cushenberry just has not been good enough to say like, yes, we can have an awesome offensive line with him in the middle. Like you can cover it up by having 4 guys who like legitimately any one of them could make the Pro Bowl this year. And I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. Those are good football players. Lloyd's kind of the weak link, but bigger than that, I mean, it's just the center position as a whole. Your starting center, he's off his contract after this year. Your backup right now is Luke Wattenberg, who we saw and he didn't look good. Like it's just such an obvious like things are not going well right there. Do something about it.
I agree. So I'll just agree with that and clear the landing path for you. It's a problem and it worries me, and it's something that I just feel like they've let fester for too long. Honestly, I felt the same way about Garrett Bowles. It actually kind of ended up paying off for them. Like, man, you're gonna ride this again,
Yeah.
and then finally, like it worked.
Yep.
I just feel like it's not
Right.
a good path to go down. Now, hopefully the same thing happens. If they don't fix the position,
Yeah.
hopefully we're looking back saying, man, I can't believe we weren't giving Lloyd the benefit of the doubt. Look at this breakout year he had. Now he's a Pro Bowler because he had 2 good players around him, and those were the real problems. But it's kind of one of those things where he's moved off of the side of like benefit of the doubt to now I'm the opposite.
Yep.
Exactly.
He's got to earn anything from me.
And you guys can't argue anything about what you said about center. Absolutely. The fact that Sean Payton last week had to come out and say Lloyd's our starting center shows you that there's a need there, because he didn't have to do that with left tackle, left guard, or right tackle. It's just known who the starters are there. But speaking of this offensive line, the Broncos are going to run the damn football. They may lead the league this year in terms of rushing attempts, because that is clearly something that Sean Payton wants to do over and over and over again. This is going to be a running team, which is just crazy to say when Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. But in order to get the most out of Russell Wilson, the Broncos are going to, quote, take him off the high dive, as Sean Payton has said in the past, and they're going to run the football. Right now, the Broncos do not have a number 1 running back on the team because of Javonte Williams' health. Javonte, I don't expect him to be ready week 1. The Broncos are kind of backing off that after they said that at the Combine, and he may not be ready all season long. What they have in their backfield right now is they have a really good number 2. Samaje Perine can do everything well, but he's never consistently been that guy where he's the number 1 running back. In the past 3 years, he has 4 games where he's been on the field 50% or more of the offensive
You're dialing
snaps.
a random ass number on your phone right now.
I am. It says no turf is the area code that was going to. No idea what that is.
It's like no man's land.
Yeah, maybe. It had some stars in there too. Thank you for that. But Samaje Perine is not a number 1 running back. He's done it 4 times in the past 3 seasons where he's been on the football field 50% of more of the offensive snaps. The Broncos have to add to that room, whether they're adding another really good number 2 running back or they're just adding a number 1 running back. Samaje Perine is a great number 2, but right now they just have a big gaping hole with that one spot.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, it feels like the Broncos want to run the ball a lot, like you said. But until they add to that position, I don't believe that they're going to.
It's fair.
I just can't imagine a game where Samaje Perine gets 24 carries.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So then, everything that we're saying, this might lend to your point more than anything. Is everything that we've been saying is oh, they're gonna run, they're gonna run, they're gonna run. Can't necessarily be true until they add to that position.
Yeah, it's really true. And I don't think Samaje, maybe he's had 1 game in the past 3 years where he's had 24 rushing attempts, but I don't think he's had any, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
In fact, I think there's been 8 games in the past 3 years where he's had double-digit number of carries, and I believe only 3 of over 14 or 15.
I think he had 21 against the Chiefs, and that's probably closest. But again, people always say running backs don't matter, they're interchangeable. I totally disagree. They're not worth investing in, but they are really important. And when you
Wait, they're not worth investing in?
No, they're not.
Didn't you make kind of a case to invest a lot of money in Saquon?
$10 million, $15 million, that's not a big investment. It
That's
is
as big of an investment as you could make in a running back.
for the position, but you're not giving out $30 million like you would with receivers if running back salaries had kept up over the last decade.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to pay that, definitely go pay that. But you look around the NFL and who the running backs are going to be. Isaiah Pacheco. I guess AFC West is interesting. Isaiah Pacheco's toward the bottom of the list, which is crazy. You got Josh Kelly and Isaiah Spiller, assuming Austin Eckler is gone. Josh Jacobs with the Raiders. But then from there, Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Joe Mixon, James Cook, plus the Bills are going to do whatever else in the draft. Mostert and Wilson combined again in Miami, not great. Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, ETN, Derrick Henry, Dameon Pierce. The Broncos with Samaje Perine and Tyler Beatty, worst in the AFC easily by a wide margin.
Right.
Yeah. So Samaje Perine's carries just last season, and that's all I've looked at so far, but I'll go back after this. It's bad. 1, 1, 9, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 6, 11, 17, 21, 4, 7, 6, 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just, he's just not. Also,
I will say, though, the game that he had 21 carries,
he was sick.
He earned those 21 carries. 5 yards per carry in that game. No touchdowns, but 21 carries for 106 yards. They clearly kept going back to him because it was working.
Did they beat the Chiefs in that one?
They did. That was
Yeah.
the birth of Burrowhead.
Yep.
Which was stupid
Which
in
was
the
awesome.
end. Very stupid. But 240 pounds as well. There's only one guy in the NFL that can consistently carry the load that much, being that big, and he's 6'3". He's Derrick Henry. Otherwise, there's a reason why you don't see those big of running backs left and right, because it's too big to carry the load that much.
One more here, just last season, 2021. 50131105235441.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 games of over 10.
And what?
It's crazy to
Samaje
imagine him being
Yeah.
20 carry guy a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if the Broncos are going to do what it appears Sean Payton wants to do, that running back's going to be getting around 20 carries a week.
Yeah.
So that's scary to me.
Trade for Derrick Henry.
There you go. I love it. Samaje Perine, excellent number 2 running back with Derrick Henry.
Oh, he's an excellent number 2 with anybody.
Yeah.
'Cause
Thunder
he
and
does.
thunder.
Yeah.
He does
Yeah.
everything well. He does everything well. You can have him do. He can be your bruiser. He can play out of like 11 personnel. You can put him in shotgun. He's a great pass protector.
Probably even play some H-back if you
Yeah.
needed him.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want with Samaje Perine. He just has never had a big workload.
Right.
And so you got to do something else other than Tyler Beatty.
I guess there's a chance like Sean Payton's just calling a shot here. He's like,
Yeah.
I love this guy coming out. He has the all-time record for rushing yards in a game in college football.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
he's just been underutilized.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yep, and that's very true. You're just taking a big gamble there.
Yep.
And it's a gamble that I don't think you should afford right now. That you can afford, because
It's a
if it
weird
comes
place
out
to gamble if that's your identity.
right.
Especially when you could go spend $3 million and get a starting running back.
Right.
Like, it's not like it takes this massive investment.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is still out there, but if you'd be open to that, there's some other guys like Kareem Hunt where you kind of raise your eyebrows like you did, Ryan. You say, "Wow, okay, that's still a good quality player out there."
Yep.
Or of course, in the draft, we've talked about some guys as well.
Yeah, and if you were to go get Deuce Vaughn, it's not like all of a sudden now Samaje Perine is your number 2, but at least you feel like it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You've got your Thunder and Lightning.
Right.
I mean, it's one like Tyler Beatty last year, 5th round pick. Could have popped off. What happens? He winds up being available for the Broncos halfway through the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And,
very true.
Yeah.
You guys know what, with the weather getting nicer, what that means for us?
Sunglass season.
Ooh.
It means that, but it also means you're rocking it with the Broncos Hawaiian shirt from
Yes.
Foco.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, they've got it all. We've got on the screen some of the awesome bobbleheads they have, even a Miles the mascot one. What'd you guys think of Miles's idea for a uniform?
I say this in the nicest way possible. Is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it on the head.
It was a bad idea from Miles.
That's nice to put that one on Miles, Henry.
Yeah. I mean, who wants a tail on a uniform?
Yeah.
Other than a
that's nice
frickin'
of you to
horse.
put that one on Miles and not someone else.
The furry community.
There was, I mean, I did like, they had the little tease. Like, they basically said we're getting an alternate helmet this year, which there had been rumors about before. Like,
Yeah.
we knew beforehand. But that was a fun little twist at the end.
Yeah, it was. And if you want to get anything Broncos related, Rockies related, Avs related, memorabilia, and then also new things, you can do that over at Foco. We've all got those Broncos Hawaiian shirts. And if you use the code DNVR over at Foco.com, you're going to get 10% off. You want something for yourself, check it out. But if you want an awesome, unique gift, check out Foco and use that code DNVR.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Should we look at defense?
The defense.
We still haven't got to defense.
Still haven't got
No.
to funny how when we talk quarterback, it kind of takes some time.
It does
Yep.
take some time. Okay, let's talk defense. This is an interesting one because the true answer for me is there actually isn't a hole. But what's the biggest need is different from is there a hole?
And I view it similar or completely opposite. I think there's only one spot where the Broncos don't have a need. Only one spot on the defense where the Broncos don't have a need. But
That's definitely opposite.
well, here's the thing. But I think the need across the board on defense is so much smaller than the holes we talked about at running back, the holes we talked about at center, and the need at quarterback.
Let's see if we can find some common ground here. You think there's a need everywhere but one.
Yep.
Do you think there's a hole anywhere?
a hole. A starting hole?
No,
No.
Okay.
I'm right there.
Not a massive one. And can you guess the position where I say the Broncos don't have a need? And I'm thinking just for this season, and I don't even feel comfortable with it, but
Inside linebacker?
Yep.
Crazy
Yep.
enough. I think that's the one spot where the Broncos just
Oh, God, people
simply
are going to hate that.
don't have a need because they're
it's-
paying $11 million for two guys this season.
Yep.
We clearly know the starters. And if they want a developmental, high potential guy, they do still have Jonas Griffith now. I think all of us have come down on how high we are on Jonas Griffith's potential since last season, but he's still more of the athletic guy.
Yep.
And then everywhere else, I think you can point and say, okay, they definitely need some depth here and there, or maybe a starter here.
Yeah, and then even
Devin
behind
Bush
him.
still available?
No, I think he just signed a deal somewhere.
Yeah.
A small deal.
Seahawks.
Yep,
Is that where it
that's
was?
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Which again, perfect fit for him.
Do you have the contract? Did you see the numbers?
No, I can't get it though.
I imagine it was a couple mil.
Yeah, it was not a lot. But then even behind Jonas Griffith, you've got Justin Sternad.
Yeah.
It's like there you go. There's a great special teams guy. There's
Yep.
your four.
Yeah.
It's kind of set. And I mean, you also have like Dakota Allen's still around? I think he is. Ray Wilborn definitely is.
Yeah.
But like you've got a couple of
You
those
are
young guys.
diving deep.
But they're, if you want the young guy who knows, like you even have that back there. So that is the one position that is just totally filled out. Should I say my hole?
Yeah.
I think, cornerback, there's a hole. The question is just where the hole is. And I think it's probably for like a true number 3 corner. Because you're just in this place.
You mean number 3 outside?
Yeah, but
Or
even
do you mean someone in front of Damari?
not in front of Damari. So, I mean, it's just weird because K1's such a specific. You ask him to
That's
do
what
one
I'm
thing.
saying. Number 3 outside corner.
Yeah, you would want a bigger corner for that job. Probably with some versatility too. But you just need somebody who is better than Damari if Damari is bad. And I don't think he's going to be bad, but you just need to raise the floor there a little bit because you don't have any sort of depth. You've got Pat Surtain, Damari Mathis. There's 2 starters. After that, like Tremont Smith, I went back and watched the Jaquan McMillan game last year and made a couple plays. Got torched more than I remembered. Right now, he's number 4 on the boundary. You just need a little bit more there, especially for a team that's averaged 5 ACL injuries a year for the last 5 years. You just got to get a little bit more juice because you're one bad thing happening away from being totally screwed.
I made a huge Googling error.
Oh, no.
Embarrassed.
Oh,
Like I feel
wow.
like I'm an elite Googler. And I just had a bad moment just now.
What'd you do?
So I just Googled Devin Bush trying to find out what his contract was because I assumed the news area
Yeah,
would just
yeah.
have like Devin Bush signs a 1 year.
Yep.
Didn't have. I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
wow.
Wasted like
Wow.
45 seconds of my time
Wow.
when I could have just typed in Devin Bush contract.
Yeah.
And it didn't even make me click anything. It just came right up.
That is very rookie.
I just heard you made an error and Googled Bush
Yeah.
on
That's
Google.
what
I was like,
thought,
oh,
too.
God, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
No, Devin Bush 1 year, 3.5 million.
Yeah.
So many contracts that just like, yeah, I would have given that out.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, again, no holes, but I think the biggest need is a more consistent second pass rusher. And honestly,
Who's
the person,
most?
right? And that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. The person that you're counting on being your number 1 pass rusher, you can't even count on.
Yeah.
Which is Randy Gregory. So that worries me because if you lose Randy Gregory, I'll touch wood. You are in a bad position at edge.
Yep.
You just are.
Yep.
And so I would love to have someone on the other side where I'm just like, okay, this guy with Randy Gregory, that's sick.
Yep.
If it has to be this guy and Baron Browning, I still feel comfortable.
Yep.
But Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper or whatever, like that terrifies me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And it's so weird when you look at the defense and you look at the needs. There's like not a massive one, but there's so many just kind of smaller ones that could be so important. Like, do you need to bring Kareem Jackson back or another starting safety to come in? No, because Caden Stearns has played at such a high level when he's played.
Yep.
But he really has never played a ton of snaps where you feel so comfortable with him being that guy. Edge rusher, you have like 3 or 4 guys.
Or more.
How much are you going to be able to spend or draft pick wise use on something? Defensive line. you want some depth. Maybe you even want a starter to go along with Zach Allen, DJ Jones. Maybe Mike Purcell fits in there. So just kind of weird. But edge is probably the most important of all of those because if you don't have that pass rush that you're supposed to have, well, that's probably not going to make Pat Surtain worse, but then it's going to expose Damari Mathis a lot more, maybe K'Wan Williams at secondaries. That's probably the biggest one.
And I mean, if you go back and look at the plays in which Pat Surtain did look bad last season, it was because the quarterback had all the time in the world for like a double move, late developing route. So, yeah, I mean, it's honestly, defense in the NFL and really all levels of football really comes down to as simple as rush and cover. Like you can get creative with this, that, and the other thing, but like it's just, they say the NFL or the NBA is a make or miss league. The NFL is a rush and cover league. And you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, the Putin League. The rush and cover.
Oh,
Rush and cover. Yeah, that's all I can think of when you say it.
Wow. The thing about getting a pass rusher, though, is that all of a sudden, I mean, just imagine, so now your number one's Randy Gregory. Your number two is whoever you bring in. Your number three is Baron Browning. Your number four is Nick Bonito or Jonathan Cooper, maybe even Jake Martin. But
probably has to be Nick Bonito.
Yeah, and so then your number five is Jonathan Cooper, who's a third-year player who started 14 games in his career. And now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you're totally buried. Jake Martin, who started 14 games in 2021 alone, like, where does he fit in? Like, he's probably gone.
Jake Martin sounds like an offensive lineman to me.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, by bringing in one pass rusher, the smart thing to do would almost be to trade away two of those guys.
Sign me
at
up.
least. Yeah, which isn't a bad thing.
They're good depth. The Broncos have a bunch of good depth players.
Could you trade Baron Browning for a third?
Yes.
You might have to throw something. You might have to throw in like a seventh or sixth or something. But
so then, do you
he's
do
right around
that
there.
to then be able to have another dart in the draft for a different position?
If you go and justify picking up Justin Houston, Yannick Ngakoue, like you would have to go that route. There? I think they both are.
I believe
so. And so,
this is crazy. Why Yannick Ngakoue should be a Bronco yesterday.
It's so true. Especially now, we're going to see the contract. It's going to be 1 year, $5 million. And we're going to be saying, give that to him.
Yeah.
It's going to kill me.
Yep.
Especially because he's talking about consistency.
Yep. And that's the thing that the Broncos need the most at that position is that number two, where you know that you're just going to be rotating between injuries likely with that number one. But that number two, you're going to be able to count on for 14, 15 games in a season because you can't count on Baron Browning. I think he's had injury problems the past 2 years since he's been in the league. Obviously, Randy Gregory, you can't count on him. Just to have one consistent piece would be so nice.
Yep. And I wouldn't want to trade Baron Browning because I still see the like really high level flashes from him. I'd love to trade Nick Bonito, but I don't think like you're taking a massive net loss on that
in just 1 year,
right? And you didn't really get to see it through it all. Jonathan Cooper, I think you could probably get 1-for-1 return on what you drafted him.
Seventh, yeah.
I think you could
maybe
do better.
Even better.
Not a lot better, but
get
better.
A sixth or a fifth.
Yeah, I mean, again, like 14 starts in 2 years. You got 2 years on the rookie deal. You would think the team trading for him would be trading for him to be their number three. And for a number three young on a rookie contract, especially 7th round contract, I'd say you could get 6th.
Although, what did Malik Reed go for? I mean, wasn't that Malik Reed more productive than Jonathan Cooper?
He had that one season.
Still young, was cheap then. What didn't the Broncos like swap a 5th for a 6th or something like that?
It was really dumb.
It was brutal. So maybe we're just putting a little too much value there.
He was also small.
I did make a poll so you can vote on who you rather trade: Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, or Baron Browning.
Cool.
I like that.
Just know when you're voting that the values are very different.
They are very different.
Now, the one we haven't talked about, could you trade Randy Gregory? Would that be something you're interested in?
I think again, you paid a lot of money for him, and you're trading low because it's once again popped up that he can't stay healthy or on the field for a whole season.
Yeah, he's one of those. I mean, mostly because the contract came the same time as the receivers with Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick. Next year's really the time to make a decision because you trade him, you save 10 mil, release him, you also save 10. Is that worth it? It really could be at that point, but right now it's just not worth the risk.
Yeah, and I don't think that's something that the Broncos are thinking about. But he's one where all of those guys certainly have a price. Okay, let's put it to a vote. What's the biggest position of need on the Broncos? First, I got to tell you about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm sorry to pour salt in the wound, but not really. Was this the first weekend that you lost units on March Madness?
Yeah.
First day at any point of the tournament that wasn't profitable.
You couldn't have picked a better day outside of today, I guess, because it only would have been 1 unit.
Exactly.
But you're still up 21 units?
We're up 21 units, 21.15. So we're guaranteed over
Yep.
20 units no matter what happens tonight.
Insane. And you're rolling with it tonight?
Of course. And I think they're all the way up to like plus 300.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if we win this one, then
Add
we end up on the weekend.
Wow.
Wow. And you'll be around 25 units. That is insane. And of course, what we're talking about, March Madness wraps up tonight. UConn, 7-8 point favorite going up against San Diego State. Can I even ask you guys how you think the game's going to unfold, or do you just see the plus 300 on DraftKings and you hit it?
I'm terrified of UConn. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been a wagon the entire tournament. What's going to stop them now? I don't know. Maybe they just have a cold night. It happens. We've seen it happen before. Like that year, Gonzaga
Yeah.
looked like an absolute wagon. They smoked everyone and then got beat by 40 in the championship game. So
Yeah, maybe San Diego State's defense
Yep.
steps up. And who's their star offensive guy who hit the shot? Bad.
oh no,
That-
that was
Oh, that wasn't him.
he like their main scorer is Bradley.
Bradley. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was
yeah.
one that hit the shot.
It was Lamont Butler who hit the
Oh,
shot.
that's why. Okay. But Bradley, he's been really cold. Maybe he lights up
Yep.
tonight or something, and that's what gets him going. But I'm excited to see the game. Excited to see you guys maybe get to 25 units. And if you want to get in on all this, go to DraftKings Sportsbook, where they're also giving out a deal for this week's UFC fight, which is UFC 287. It's this Saturday, and if you want to get in on it, you place a $5 bet on a pre-fight money line and get $150 in bonus bets if your fighter wins. So check them out, UFC 287 over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code DNVR, and make sure to see our show notes for details. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And speaking of, let's give it our DraftKings pick of the week right now. I'm going tonight. I think, unfortunately, UConn's going to cover the 7.5 right now. It is UConn 7.5 minus 110 over at DraftKings. I love it. I think that closest game they've had was the most recent one. It was 13.1.
Yep.
I think it's time to get the championship bets in for Nuggets and Avs. Nuggets right now plus 800, Avs plus 650. Both those seem crazy low to me, but you parlay them
Man,
together.
I got to get an abs bet in. That's great value.
67-1 on the parlay. 67.
Yeah, it's pretty rare for a team to win 2 championships in a span of a couple days.
It's surprisingly not though, right? Like, just Tampa just did it.
Yep.
I think Boston did a couple times,
And
right?
just look
Did
at
Chicago
anywhere
have one?
look at
Boston-
anywhere Tom Brady's been, and they've done it.
Yeah.
But I don't think Boston
That's-
did the hockey and basketball
No.
in the same year.
No. So that
There's
within a
always
couple days.
football one rotated in there.
I don't
It
think.
is rare.
When's the last time the Bruins won the title? Feels like it's been a long time.
I mean, probably 10 years. Chicago, did they ever get a championship when the baseball team was good?
Bulls, Blackhawks, no.
No.
Cubs,
Did the Cubs win the Blackhawks overlap?
Blackhawks.
That was close. That was close for sure.
It would have been.
So, anyways, 67-1. There you go.
67-1.
I can't believe Ryan's the one shooting that down.
I know, yeah.
I don't want to get greedy.
For 67-1.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be great.
They're the
Best team in the
Patriots-
West. in
I will
both.
just take the Nuggets. Give me the Nuggets.
Patriots won in
Oh.
2010 and 11, right?
Yeah, I don't know. The
I don't
Patriots
know,
won
yeah.
basically all of them.
Yeah, you could pretty much say yes.
That was the
and
one year that the Bruins won in the last 10 years. Last
There you go.
10, 15 years.
Probably then.
God.
You don't want to throw the Rockies in there
Yeah.
to win it all?
Plus 50,000.
Yep.
Rockies really let Hank down. He had a chance for
Yeah.
a big win. I actually had a chance for a big win that night when the Rockies went down 4-0 on, was that Saturday night? Yeah. They went down 4-0 on Saturday night. I looked at the live line and it was plus 1,600 and it was
Oh
the
my
4th
gosh.
inning.
Oh
and
my
I was like,
gosh.
that's just way too much value. So I took it. They got it all the way to 4-3 with a runner on second and no outs and did not.
Dang. So the value was there, though.
Yep. But I also had 2 bets on it and I cashed one of them out.
Smart. So you made your money.
Yep.
What's your guys' DraftKings pick? Ryan, what's yours?
I will sadly. It's probably time to fade the Rockies.
That was quick.
They've got Ryan Feltner on the mound tonight against the Dodgers. Probably just take Dodgers -1.5.
Okay, there you go. And to put a wrap on this, I'm trying to find. Here we go. Okay, for every Colorado sports team to win the championship this year, Rockies, Nuggets, Avs, and Broncos. Guess what odds you get for that parlay?
I don't even think
I mean, we're talking $1 to $1 million.
Yeah, over $1 million.
Over $1 million? Do you guys want to be a little more bold or something?
Give me $4 million.
$4 million
I'm gonna say-
On a $1 bet.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like plus 4 million.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're saying it's like plus 400.
Let's do it. Let's do a $100 bet. What's it turn into?
Give me $40 million.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
I'm off by 10.
4.8 million.
If you bet $100 on this to happen, you would win $87,925,000.
The way you're talking about maybe drop the
You may
decimal.
make like DraftKings. No, you wouldn't make them go bankrupt, but
No.
you would do some damn. They would be.
Yeah.
Their eyes would be open to that.
I don't know if you feel like testing this for $10. I don't think they would let you make that bet.
I think they would probably step in. Yeah.
They would tell
Yeah.
you like the max you can bet on this is 3 cents.
Yeah.
Right. And what would that pay? That would still pay something crazy. 3 cents would pay $26,000.
Yeah. So I mean, the Rockies, it's like 1 to win 10 grand. So you put the 10 grand on like our 67. All of a
That's
sudden,
true,
that's
that's true.
670.
And
You
parlays
got-
really do go up
Yeah.
exponentially fast.
So you got 670 grand on the Broncos to win it.
1 cent pays almost $9,000.
Hit that bet.
I think I
Wow.
have to.
What? No.
Man, that is crazy. So check them out, DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, what's the bit? So defense, we saying edge is the biggest need. I know, Henry, you made the
You
argument
needed-
for cornerback.
I would say DB. You just need one of those like Emmanuel Mosley, whatever, somebody who can do whatever. And you could even bring back Kareem because
The
the
biggest
problem
need
is
on the team.
no, but on
Oh.
defense, really quick.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying it's edge?
It's edge. Yeah.
I'm saying edge as well. So unfortunately, Hank, edge is
Wow.
going to make the championship game
round.
and for the defense, and then offense. Where are we going? How are we quantifying this?
We'll leave
It's-
quarterback out
yeah.
of it just
Okay.
because that is a depressing and
Yeah.
not
So-
really realistic conversation.
So I would go
You say running
running
back.
back, and you both go in center.
Yep.
We both go center.
Okay.
Because the thing
so-
is, even if you draft a center and Lloyd wins the starting job, plays well, they can't afford to invest more money in this offensive line. Then you have your guy next year. That's a tiebreaker for me.
Fair. Okay, so edge or center?
I have to go positional value on this.
Oh.
Well, I think center is a legitimate hole and edge is just a need. I have to go positional value on this. You can get by with 4 good offensive linemen and a subpar center.
Yeah.
Most teams don't even have that many good offensive linemen. Now, they might not all end up being good, but in the world we're living in right now, they have 4 good offensive linemen and a hole at center. I think it's a lot easier to get by with that than it is to envision a world where Randy Gregory goes down and you're using nothing but depth to try and rush the passer.
It's a very, very good
Yeah.
point. I'm going to make the case for center here. And the reason is for everything you guys have said, but also the importance on offense for this year. It's trying to revamp the offense, and I want to give the offense everything that they could possibly need
Fair.
to have success, and I don't want that hole there, especially at center, where Russell Wilson needs some help making checks at the line, and that center has to be the brain there. So I'll just give the slight edge to center. Hank?
I go
Who's
center
taking the
also.
crown?
There's
Okay.
just so many edge rushers at this point, and you wish they were a little bit better. But with Randy Gregory and Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito and Jake Martin, and then we never saw Chris Allen, and then you even have like Kongbo. Wait, they didn't bring back Kongbo, right? Aaron Patrick is back. Those two are kind of interchangeable to me.
yeah.
But you get one of those. I think you get by on the depth.
Okay, so let me just make sure before we crown a champion here. Tomorrow, Ben Jones announces, I'm playing this season.
Yep.
I'll settle for nothing less than 1 year, $10 million. Yannick Ngakoue says the same thing. 1 year, $10 million to play for the Denver Broncos. Which one are you taking?
I thought it was really close before you put it like that. When you put it like that, Ben Jones, easy.
Okay.
Yep, I go Ben Jones
All
for
right.
sure.
All right. I
Where'd you
mean,
go?
It's funny because when I changed up my own self saying that out
Yeah.
loud, like,
yeah.
I would feel
Yeah.
so happy about Ben Jones
Yep.
being the Broncos center. That
Yep.
being said, I can get 10 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, the center almost feels like more of a luxury
does.
in this case, but it's so hard to not want just 5 great linemen playing together.
I know, but
And-
Henry has that in Madden and it doesn't do shit for him.
It did, and I'm just bad now. Like, we're 16 games in the season. I've played 15 games of Madden since the season started.
This
Like,
roller
guys haven't
coaster, Henry,
played.
you started earlier the show saying you're good at everything you do,
No,
and
then
you
I said
just
this
admitted you're bad.
Not everything, new things.
It doesn't matter what
New
I say, but I
things.
think I would still take the 10 sacks.
I will
It's hard
say,
to pass that up. When was the last time the Broncos had a 10-sack guy? Wasn't it Vaughn in 2018?
Yeah, it's sad.
if you could get Ngakoue on like 3 years, $30 million, then I'm all in. Like, it's the 1 year deal. Like, what do you need more this year? It's center. Ngakoue is going to be a steal at this point, which is crazy. Like, again, at least 8 sacks in every season of his career, which is ridiculous. And you just look through everything that happened. Like, he got franchise tagged after his rookie deal. They traded him immediately to the Vikings from Jacksonville. Halfway through that season, the Vikings sent him to Baltimore. Got the 2-year deal with the Raiders at $13 a year. Got traded after the first year to Indy. 5 teams in 4 years. And he's still putting up at least 8 sacks a year. Like, he is being crazy undervalued for some reason.
It's so
Do you
weird.
think being a free agent right now is like what it feels like to be the last kid picked in kickball?
Yeah.
Except like it's even longer. Like it's like the draft is
Right.
like weeks long, and you're literally just standing in the field waiting for someone to pick you.
It's got to be weird, especially for a guy like Yannick Ngakoue who's like really good at football.
Yeah,
He's just got to be like,
Yeah.
what is going? Like, I would probably fire my agent.
yeah.
Just like out of just pure reaction.
We saw Shelby Harris do that many years ago before he had to come back on like the 1 year, $3 million deal. What about Dalton Reisner?
Yeah,
He's still
Yeah.
out there. He was supposed to be this $10 million guard.
take him for depth.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back and competes at center. Actually, that's the one position he never played, right?
Yeah.
He played everything
Go ahead.
else.
The big loss to me is Graham Glasgow,
Yeah.
where I can't remember what he got from the Lions, but all of a sudden, like, if you have him to be your backup guard, because you're going to need a backup guard for 2-3 games a year, your backup center, which you're going to need for a couple games a year, or he just beats out Lloyd right out, then all of a sudden you're in a good situation.
You're going to hate this. 1 year, 275.
For who?
Graham.
Yep. That would have solved the problem.
Yep. And Henry, he just would have been your starting center, just straight up.
I think so. I mean, if the last staff was still here, he would have been, because we saw how they treated that down the stretch. Like, they just gave him the job despite Lloyd being healthy. And there were decisions to be made about activations from IR. They couldn't bring everybody back, and they had to pick and choose. But still, you would think your starting center, if you thought he was your starting center, would be one that you picked to bring back.
Yeah.
All right, super chats. Got one here from the legend Jared Numbies. Birthday, you are a legend now and forever.
Oh, thank you,
Yes.
Jared. Appreciate your support and everyone reaching out. You guys are the best. Thank you guys as well.
Hell yeah, dude! Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Okay, let's get to comments on the website.
Yeah, let's get to them. And here we go, pulling it up right now. Let's see if the weekend was a lit place. And it was.
Okay.
Broncos Only says, happy birthday to everyone with an April 2nd birthday. Thank you.
That includes
Yeah,
you.
that includes me. At the restaurant, Annika and I went to dinner last night. There were literally like 4 other birthdays there.
Where'd we go?
Wow.
Went to
Chuck E. Cheese?
Cachon.
Oh yeah, Kachon.
Yeah. It was, she surprised me with it. I love Asian food, and had some delicious food. But what they do for birthdays is they bring out like a little donut and ice cream thing, but they bring out like
Wow.
a sparkler
Yeah, I
to
saw
go
that
with
on
it.
Instagram.
Yeah. So the first one, people sitting next to us, I'm like, oh, it's their birthday. And we had 2 more behind us, and I was like,
Wow.
wow,
Set
this
off
is
the fire alarm.
Yeah, this is the spot to go on your birthday. So yeah, great time.
Denver has an incredible Asian food scene.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, and you just wouldn't necessarily. I don't know. It's kind of surprising, but like of my top 10 restaurants, probably 4 of them would be different types of Asian food.
And
Maybe even more.
Hop Alley's one of them, right?
Hop
I
Alley.
need to go there.
Uncle Sushi Den.
Yeah. Right.
Been in none
Like
of
you
those.
just start rattling them off. It's like, wow.
Really true. It just doesn't make sense.
I know.
I'm a
And
big Pizza Hut guy. Just for what that's worth. Pizza
So
Hut,
he's never heard
McDonald's.
of these other cuisines.
I've heard, but I've never been.
Henry and I went to the same restaurant last
Yeah.
night.
What, on
randomly.
accident?
Yeah.
Did you see each other there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Good
That
experience.
was wild. Yeah. Rio Grande. That's, do we say Grande?
Grande.
That's one of those that's halfway in between like am I,
Yep.
should I be saying this? Or is
Yep.
this leaning in too far?
Just call it the Rio. Save yourself.
That's
the
what we
time.
always do. But then sometimes.
Well, yeah, I've only known of it as the Rio.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
technically it's
Oh,
Rio Grande.
okay.
Yeah, which
Some
makes
margs?
sense.
Which just means large river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Was that before the basketball game?
Yep.
That was.
And that's where I wanted to. Are we done? I wanted to finish on this with you.
Well, really quick, Nash Bronco says, Happy Monday. My DNVR hoodie came in, and man, this thing is dope. If you're holding back on becoming a diehard, the merch discount is worth it alone. Happy birthday to the one, the only Numbies. Thank you, Nash Bronco. And also, become a diehard. Everyone
Yes.
become a diehard,
Yep.
where so many advantages, including getting discounts on merch.
Boom.
And one more, the count says, favorite all-time Bronco non-quarterback? Love the count. I'm going at Wilson.
Favorite all-time Bronco non-quarterback, Rod Smith. Man, Demarius has got to be in there too. I have like a weird relationship with the players that I covered. I don't feel as much of like
Yeah.
Right.
a fan. Like Rod Smith, I was just like such a fan of.
I mean, he was your dad. No,
that was
Terrell?
TD.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. I think I gotta go champ.
Yep, good one.
It's champ,
There
yeah.
we go. All right, where are we ending, Ryan? Take us home. Land the plane,
Vaughn.
baby.
Oh, it's off topic, but that's why I was waiting for the end for it. Henry and I both went to the Nuggets game last night. Also, just in general, dub for me waiting on game time.
Yep.
Because eventually Jokic was ruled out.
Yep.
And tickets dropped a lot. But Zach, you're probably the number one person in Denver in terms of your fear of the Warriors. So
Yeah.
do the Nuggets beating the full strength Warriors, except Andrew Wiggins, without Nikola Jokic, alleviate some fear for you?
Yeah, we don't know if Wiggins is going to be back.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to
Yeah.
have to assume that he's not going to be back. And yeah, it does. It helps. I still playoff Steph.
Yeah.
And
no,
and
for
I
sure.
Yeah.
hate the Warriors. So maybe I
Oh,
have
yeah.
even more of respect, I guess.
That's how I
for
fear
them.
the Chiefs.
Oh, because you hate them so much. Okay,
Yeah,
fair,
you hate
fair.
them,
I
but you
see.
also know you should be scared.
Right. I didn't.
Shouldn't bring that up
I saw that.
voluntarily.
I mean, it's the exact same thing, though.
So I saw that the Nuggets won the game last night, but I wasn't watching the game. I didn't know they were down so big in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
half. So it was even more impressive.
Well, and then they
Yeah.
almost blew it at the end because they
Yeah,
were up
they
like
did.
12 with like 3 minutes to go. But then, it's the Warriors and things happen.
yeah,
so,
that's just why
I'm just
the
like-
Warriors.
I don't know. Everyone's been talking about how bad the Warriors are on the road all year, and this is like the first time I literally got to see it up close in person.
Yeah,
They were bad.
yeah.
They're so soft. Like, as soon as Draymond went out, MPJ was just bullying them on the
their
glass.
boards, yeah.
Like, there was like 3 offensive rebounds where he's just getting putbacks, and you're like, wait, MPJ
Yeah.
is so much tougher than any Warrior right
Also,
now.
if you see us all looking over here, it's because they're replaying the
game is
game
on.
on
also,
the TV.
Peyton Watson's sick
Peyton Watson.
out of
dude.
nowhere. He's incredible.
Did anyone say that on Twitter?
That's
I
a
thought
good
about
one.
it later, and I
That's
was
a
like,
good
I should've
one.
said
I would
that.
imagine.
All right, cool. Good
I,
job.
Yeah.
I feel sick thinking this. I haven't said it out loud yet. This is the first time in years where the thought has entered my mind. Should I actually be scared of the Lakers?
Oh, don't do that because
I
you got
know.
these people
Yeah.
piping up in the comments.
I know.
No.
It's not something that I want to believe, but I've thought that.
That's like
for the first time.
The only reason I could get behind that is like the old man Nuggets fan take, which is like the Lakers have done this
They're
to
the
us
final boss.
so many
Yeah.
times over the past 40, 50 years. That I can get behind. Like the general like history says you should be scared. It's like how Browns fans should be scared of Broncos. It's that
Yeah.
same
The
thing.
Lakers don't have the shot makers to
No.
advance in the playoffs.
They just don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they just have a
Good,
general lack
good.
of NBA players.
Also, they're playing all the teams that are
Sorry.
just like, whatever, the season's over, we're not going to make the playoffs, or we already made the playoffs, so they're just getting easy games at this point.
Exactly.
It's hilarious though that like Lakers fans have found a way to start running their mouths
Yeah.
when they're barely in the playoffs.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even like. I guess they're gonna get so many calls in the play-in that I bet they do
Oh,
get through the play-in.
The NBA will usher them
Yeah.
directly into the playoffs. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I don't fear the Lakers. I fear the refs.
There's a chance they don't even play in the play-in game. They're only one game out
Yeah,
from not having
exactly.
to be in the play-in, which is crazy because a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they were like 13th or something.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't play the Nuggets, I wouldn't mind them winning.
Why?
Because you want to play them.
Just because, they're not very good.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do think like they play the Nuggets or Memphis, they probably just get swept.
Okay. Good.
Memphis,
They're streaky, but they're so
scare me.
physical and so deep. Like
Yeah.
that's enough to stop the Lakers.
all right.
Haven't the
I
Nuggets
could-
taken care of business this year against Memphis?
Yeah.
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 I'm not scared of Memphis.
Yeah.
No, I mean what the Nuggets are like 13-3 against the top 5 teams in the West or something.
Wait, so are you scared of the Warriors after
yeah,
last
yeah.
night? Oh,
no,
you still
I
are.
mean, I'm less scared of them after last night,
But
but
still.
you
Yeah.
have to be scared.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like, Steph and Clay missing open threes, which they have been doing on the road this season. It just doesn't feel like
Right.
real when
you
it
don't
happens.
want, you don't want to count on it.
Like when Clay released that shot for the win, I was like, oh, that's for sure going in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think to me it's like the Suns starting lineup. It's just pretty sick. Like you got Chris Paul and you got KD and you got Devin Booker. Like it's just a sick starting lineup, and that's scary. It could do the thing that like, oh, the Mavs got Kyrie. Who's gonna stop them? It's like, oh, didn't work. And I think there's a chance it happens with the Suns, but as of now, that is the one scary team to me. With the Warriors at number 2 is just like, they might just get hot, but I don't think they're getting hot 4 times.
All right. That's
enough.
enough. That's enough. We should have our own little Nuggets
Oh, we
spin-off show.
should.
We should have a Nugget show. I'd be down.
DNVR Broncos does Nuggets.
No, DNVR Broncos Nuggets.
That actually,
Great
like,
show.
it has a ring to it. You know? People don't know if they're coming for Nuggets content or like little tidbits of Broncos content.
I've got Rockies notes too, Avs thoughts. We should just have DNVR Broncos sports.
We should have.
We have a podcast.
DNVR
with the
which is
TDSP.
No,
basically that.
TDSP is talking about what happened 20 years ago. We need right now.
Yeah. There we go.
the now.
We'll go have a meeting about that. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.